Green, green, green. Oh, but Koa holds it around the outside, and he gets a way
he's
better
gonna take it.
Pushing hard, already 3 wide into turn 1.
A little bit, and a group of Astons just piling up on him, trying to hold everybody off. Push him wide a little bit, but you can't make it stick.
Boonstra is able to hold the inside.
Got a little overlap, but he can't do it.
Ooh, and
He just caught it.
Mr. Sir and King are banging doors.
Oh, shoot.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the best racing in North America, home of the SRA GT3 Team Series. 60 minutes of action-packed door-to-door racing, 6 divisions, 6 different championships on the line. Let's get ready for some action tonight. Josh, my man, how are you doing tonight? It's good to be back in the booth with you.
I am thoroughly excited to be back for another season of fantastic Division 5 racing, and yeah, what a better track to start it off at than Barcelona, and with the scorching heats that the admins have brought this week, it's sure to give us quite the show.
Absolutely going to give us one hell of a show tonight. As Josh said, we are kicking off Season 6, Week 1 in Barcelona, Spain with our Division 5 teams and drivers. Last season, we saw our gold split champion, Jacob Zitkow, take home gold and move his way up to Division 4, but returning from his Division 5 silver championship, the 852 of Cube Master, can he take home the championship title again this season? We will find out tonight as the battle for team and driver championship points begin here at Barcelona. And we will jump straight into qualifying.
That's right, drivers are already out on track. We're seeing some of the silver drivers come in and put in their lap times out, and with it being the first week and to keep things easy for qualifying, everybody does have a gold and silver qualification, but I believe up until round 2, possibly round 3, we will make shuffles, as some people who may be new to the league may have to move up or down a division, or some that deserve to be touted at the upper end of their class get moved up to the gold classification.
Absolutely. And as our drivers are leaving the pits, let's jump into the qualifying session here. So if you are new here, each division is split into 2 groups, one being your silver drivers. They will get the first 10 minutes of qualifying, who we see on screen now. The second group will be the gold drivers, and they will be going out for the second half of our 20-minute qualifying session. And then we will jump into our 60-minute race with a 40-minute pit window this week. Drivers are going to be required to pit during this time, but only require 1 liter of fuel. Tires are going to be optional. And Josh, like you said, I think it's going to be very interesting with how hot the track is today.
That is right. There's been people all through the Discord since this track has been announced saying, I don't know how I'm supposed to do 25 minutes on one set of tires, let alone 60, so it's going to be interesting to see how people are able to manage that rubber throughout this race. But we're already seeing the pace that this division has to offer, and people making big deltas. Mr. Trembling at the top of the board is already up 4/10 on his time with the 46.54 provisional pole.
Absolutely. And you know, I gotta say, I've been watching these guys practice all week. I think we are gonna see some very low 45s and possibly a bunch of people dipping into the 44s as well.
Yeah, all through the divisions, we'll definitely be seeing some very fast pace. I would not be surprised to see some 43s, but personally, if I see some 45s or 44s out here, I might have to step out of the booth and get back in the rig to do some more practice, because I thought that's what the D2 was doing.
Well, I tell you what, and I've been struggling with the mid 44s this season, let alone even getting down to the 43s now. there's definitely some D2 drivers that are already down into the 43s, but man, seeing some of these guys, it really just shows you how close all the divisions really are. I mean, Division 1 was split by not even a second. I think it was half a second at most. D2 was just about the same way, and I think D3 was a second and a half at most. It actually could have been a little bit tighter there.
Yeah, the divisional split stat was very interesting to look at because I believe they were closer than we're remembering here, but it just showcased what kind of competition was going to be out there this season. But looking up and down the board already, we see a lot of returning faces here in the silver class, and one that kind of looks like a childhood story and does look new, but is actually somebody who's returning, and that's car 424 of Jerry. How did he say he wants it pronounced? Finkelstein, which is Jerry Finkel from last season.
Yes, I do see him out here on the track in the Ferrari, currently sitting in P16 at the moment.
Yeah, repping that beautiful comic racing livery. Personally, one of my favorites from that reveal stream on the weekend.
You know, as a former Need for Speed Heat player, their intro video on the reveal stream and their livery makes me very, very happy. It looks super sharp. I'm absolutely loving it. And I think they picked the perfect car to put it on here.
No doubt, the bodywork and the angles of that Ferrari just suit that graffiti neon color style so well. And yeah, just a beautiful canvas for that artwork, but a bit of a different car to drive compared to the Porsche of last season. I have no experience in either, but need to start practicing the Ferrari, and both seem very daunting, coming from the front engine lifestyle.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting season. I have to say though, I'm liking the split between cars here. There's we still got some McLarens, we got a Porsche, we got Ferrari, Honda, the Lexus, the Aston Martin. The only car that I don't see in Division 5 is a BMW this year.
Yeah, no sign of a BMW right now. We do have, I believe, 3 drivers missing tonight, as I think 50 drivers did register for the division, with 47 present. And, yeah, no BMW love. But one thing that's been interesting to note is I think it's somewhere around 20 to 24% of the registration this season has been in Aston Martins. So that's something we will see a lot of.
A lot of Astons and a lot of Porsches this season for sure.
Yes, people saw the top of the leaderboards last season and everyone was like, I want to do that too.
Yep, and I gotta say, even me myself made the switch. I was contemplating between the Aston and the Porsche. Decided to go for a little bit of a challenge this season. It's gonna be interesting to say the least, but I'm looking forward to it, man. This whole season is gonna be super exciting. I think we're gonna see some of the closest racing that SRA has had to date. And I thought last season was crazy. It just keeps growing and getting even tighter. Like the battles are just gonna get better and better. It's gonna be one hell of a season for sure.
It is a very, very uphill incline in how competitive these division splits have gotten. And yeah, I can only wait to see what these actual races are going to have in store. I know personally I'm very excited after this is over to go and watch the D1 race afterwards.
Absolutely. So as we let our gold drivers get out onto track, we will take a look at the track map. So coming down the very, very long first straight into Sector 1, we have turns 1 and 2, very, very crucial to get absolutely perfect and correct. And then the treacherous turn 3, which I have a feeling we may see a few people sliding out through here. And if it doesn't happen through turn 3, the beginning of Sector 2, turn 4 can be a very, very tricky braking zone to come into, and got to be very easy getting back on the throttle. We
Very delicate.
come down the short straight into turn 5, another crucial turn in my opinion on the track, where you can really lose a lot of time if you don't hit that just perfect. Then we have a slight left into turn 6, the uphill section of 7 and 8, the high speed right-hander of turn 9, and then we have the back straightaway leading us into sector 3 for turns 10. Very sharp left-hander. Pretty much every car, I think you're dropping down to first gear for that. I don't think anyone could take that into second gear. Then we have turns 12, 13, 14, and 15. And 13, 14, and 15, I would say, are probably the most important turns on the track. Because if you mess your exit up coming out of 15, going into the last turn, and down that long front straight, there's just not much you can do to gain time back. So it is going to be some very interesting. I'm hoping to see some nice overtakes like we did last season here in the wet around that chicane in the final sector. I do have 3 little track facts for us, though, for Barcelona. So current fastest lap in an F1 car. Do you want to take a guess at what you think it might be?
Now, the one thing I don't know is if the lap time was faster or slower, since they deleted the hairpin at turn 10 and have moved to the elongated corner.
This is from 2021. It's the
Okay, so it's the first race with the elongated corner, if I remember correctly.
It should be, yes.
So
Yep.
I'm gonna say a 1:31.2.
Oof. It is a 1:18.1.
Oh, what?
By the legend himself, Verstappen, of course.
Super max, no doubt. That's 30
Yeah.
seconds
Yeah.
faster than these guys are going right
A
now.
1:18.1. But you know what's actually crazy, too, right? As our times start to come in from our gold drivers here, as they make their first lap, our second track back, fastest lap for a GT3 car is a 1:45.1 by Joe Osborne in a McLaren 720S. So
Is that qualifying or race spec, though?
that
Is that a race lap or is that a qualifying lap?
That is race spec. Based
Interesting.
off
That's
of the
pretty
website I got it off of, at least. But
fair enough.
yeah, it is it's pretty quick. I mean, obviously we're in a game, we're going a little bit quicker here. But yeah, over the years too, this is your last track back from Barcelona, 9 different track layouts since the opening of the track in 1991.
Wow.
9 different variations of it. Some of them have been very interesting. We know Formula 1 comes here, GT3 has raced here, MotoGP, which this looks like it would be a ton of fun in a MotoGP race. But
No doubt.
yeah, just a couple quick little track facts for us here.
That's really interesting, and to think we might be on the verge of a 10th variation with the fact that I believe it was they authorized the FIA to, if they want to, create a homologated version of Sector 3 that doesn't include those god-awful 90-degree corners. So
Yeah,
essentially use the other curve, so that would create, I mean, another active variation, so...
absolutely. And like I said, that is probably one of the hardest sectors to get right, in my opinion, in the entire game.
Definitely. It's
maybe-
I'm sure a lot of people would love to have it deleted straight off of their console and just kind of, you come around turn 10, make the left to turn 11, come around turn 12, and then you just teleport to the last corner and keep going around the right-hander, come on at the start-finish straight, all of it.
Would be
Nobody
so
would
nice.
complain.
So nice it would be. As we can see too, Rutledge, Justin in the Honda putting down our fastest lap with a 1:45.5. Beautiful, beautiful lap. Livery looking very, very nice for the Missed Apex Racing, the Breadman. Common theme around here. I believe his teammate is Patches O'Houlihan. If I had to take a guess, just based off of his livery I saw pop up earlier.
You have got that right. That livery is very, very beautiful. Shows love to the bread man himself. And yeah, in case you didn't notice, Patches is back in the division, obviously. So we will get lots of Ohula Cam.
Yes, we
Just
will.
maybe not tonight as much, as we do only have one camera, but don't worry, we will show some love.
Absolutely. And if we just take a peek at Sean Daniels for Ghost Rider Racing, cheaper than therapy, the hot pink Porsche coming down that front straight, making his way up to P4 with a 145.9.
Wow. And Cube
Master now just laying down a 145.4. Another
So I guess that answers
Porsche.
the questions from earlier of where's he gonna slot in? Is he gonna show his teeth towards another championship here?
I am
Pole
very,
would be a great place to start.
very, very curious. You know, I was talking with the boys in chat earlier today, and a lot of them were looking to get the best qualifying spot to just kind of stay out ahead. You know, 50 people in a grid tonight, 47, but considering we filled basically all of the divisions, there might be some chaos, especially on laps 1 and 2. Very, very, very well could be some chaos. Hopefully there is, and hopefully it's a nice clean start. But I gotta say, Trembling is holding that P3 spot currently for the silver division, looking very, very strong.
That's right. And while we're sitting here, Cube Master's up again, another 2/10 on his time. Currently on his way towards Sector 3. Okay, is he gonna solidify it a little bit more? I see Sean Daniels is up 4/10 on his time.
He
a little bit ahead of
absolutely
Cube
is.
Master right now, probably
And
in
Cube
those
Master
13, 14,
dipping down in the
15.
red. Let's take a look at Sean Daniels, as it looks like he's coming through the final chicane in Sector 3. Still holding on. Just a couple tenths. Can he make it up, though? Coming down the front straight. Looks like he is going to jump right up to P3. Beautifully, beautifully done. Very, very nice lap. And it looks like Khan also working his way up in the Ferrari, currently 3/10 up on his time. So he makes his way up the hill here a little bit into the high-speed right-hander. You get a nice little view as you're coming down this back straight here. See how harsh of an braking zone this actually is. Oh, looks like going just a little wide, but able to hold on to it here as he's getting ready to come into the chicane. Still a nice 3/10, almost 4/10 up on his time here. Looking very smooth, and this could bump him up a few positions.
Big jump off the sausage curb.
Very, very big jump. Lost a lot of time, unfortunately, coming through that as he crosses the line. Currently P8, and it looks like we still have a couple drivers out on track here as we take a look at Steven Sarver for the Baseline Racing. That nice olive green McLaren livery. I absolutely love it. I think Corey killed it this year for Baseline. Their liveries are they're very calm. I like it. I like it a lot. They look beautiful.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the colorful and flashy liveries, and then I see ones like this and I'm like, I also love that.
Yes, very clean. Very clean. As
They're all
Sarver
so good.
jumps up to the top 10 there with his final lap. Absolutely beautiful. What a qualifying session it has been, as we are going to get ready for our race here. Josh, do you have any picks on who you think tonight's winner might be? I'm just looking at the times here. I mean, the top 8 are all in the 145s. And not far behind them, the 46s, maybe top 10 is really, really close here. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. We have 1, 2, 3 different people holding best sector 1 is Rutledge, best sector 2 is Daniels. I lost all my information, but that's all right because we're going to get ready to roll here in just a few minutes.
But yeah, having a look at the top of the leaderboard here, the one thing that I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on, as much as we do have Porsches and Hondas at the top, as if this was season 4 again, is the 2 Ferraris of Jitesh Katavkar in P6, and I believe it's Kevin Khan in P8, in the 196 car. The Ferrari is definitely the favored vehicle around Barcelona, and if they have done the practice that 99% of everybody else has done around here, I'm sure they've got quite the grip on being able to manage those tires. So I can see those things becoming a threat as the cars start to settle themselves out.
Absolutely. Those Ferraris are going to be a menace to everybody in this race here. I so cannot wait to see how this plays out, man. I am so excited for lap 1 as we got about a minute left before the drivers take off for their formation lap here. Let's just take a peek at all of the beautiful liveries that we have going on here. So we got a nice Ghost Rider livery here. We got the Bread Hero. I absolutely love it. This looks like Mad Haas Racing. Got another Porsche here, if I could just keep moving up. Absolute banger for an Aston livery. Here's your Ferraris here. Plan E Racing mixed with Grid Thieves Motorsports. Cannot wait. That is looking absolutely beautiful. As we roll on through a little bit quickly here before we start getting dragged away at all of our awesome liveries for season 6. Got a nice Merc sitting in here too. I didn't even see the Mercs on the list.
We've got someone repping one of the Sim Racing Alliance official liveries tonight.
Absolutely do.
Lovely liveries put
And
together
I gotta
by the head
say,
of the
this
Armamentario team.
has been one of my absolute favorite liveries this season.
And I was gonna say, there's their team livery, which is even better.
It looks so sharp. What an absolute great job on that. But man, dude, what a grid!
I was about to say, when you quote unquote walk down the grid like this, you really see how many cars 47 cars is on the start here. I'm wondering how many people are going to be stuck in the S when we start this race.
I mean, like, that is just one heck. Like, you can't even imagine. I mean, look at the whole front straight. There's going to be people starting in the chicane. This is absolutely insane how many cars are on the grid this season, and we're still missing 3 drivers. That is just, it is phenomenal. Yeah. I love seeing this here.
I'm thankful that the admins have picked a larger track to start things off with. The last time we had 50 drivers to start a season, to my memory, I don't think we've actually had 50 drivers at the start of for round 1 in quite a while, but was Brands Hatch.
Yes.
So that was scary. Very, very scary, but...
And you know what? We're going to see that again.
That is right, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. I am for one of those people.
You know, Brands Hatch is not one of my most favorited tracks, but yeah, it'll be interesting. We did have the Transatlantic Cup there last season, and it gave me a new perspective on the track. It should be interesting. It should be an interesting race, to say the least. As we just take a look at our boy Ren Aoki. Looking good in his McLaren this season. Let's see how he holds up for race 1.
That's
Also
right,
got
back behind the wheel of some new machinery.
absolutely.
But some say they do handle similar, so let's see if that strong race pace and overtaking ability can help move him through the field as well, as a bit of
Yeah.
a silent sleeper in P20.
And we have another returning of Rigatoni. Looking forward to him too. And our fellow commentator from last season, Nate Dogg, in his Aston Martin, looking very good as it looks like everyone's getting ready to line up too wide here. We're gonna pop back up towards the front of the pack.
Yeah,
And
that's right,
there
it's going
is,
to be nice to embed the commentator's curse on Nate now.
yes, it is. We can turn the, well, turn the tables for him. Hopefully he has a good race, Nate. I wish you the best of luck. Wish you could be here in the booth with us. But we are getting ready to go racing as they cross the line. Oh, and there is people diving out all over the place as they're rolling down the front stretch. Here in the cars, rumble on through. Looks like we got almost five cars wide down towards the back here. Little bit of a
filing in.
slow it up. It's looking
Some accordion effect
good.
at turn 1 for sure, but it looks like all the cars are staying on the track.
Oh, and I do
Bit of a yellow flag.
see a bunch of yellow flags coming through here in the back. We're just going to keep an eye on this here for just a split second before we take a look back here and see what's going on as our leaders file in. Let's just take a 30-second replay back on lap 1, and we got some mayhem coming down the front straight. Very, very unfortunate to see, but it does happen occasionally here as we tune back into the front of the pack. Looks like everyone is starting to find their spot here. I think we still got another 5 seconds to go before we jump back in. It looks like Cube Master is closing the gap to Rutledge as he's popping back in. Unfortunately gets a drive-through. May have jumped the start. That is not how you want to start the season off. But
there's definitely a rough foot, and you can see it in his driving style. He is eager to get up front, and that is bothering him.
absolutely not going to be happy about that at all.
You see more yellow flags about halfway back the field towards turn 10. I feel that corner is going to be coming up a lot tonight throughout the practice race. We saw that being the ample opportunity to make overtakes here at the
and we could take a
Barcelona
peek back, and it
racetrack.
looks like somebody just got a little sideways here.
Waiting for the right opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, just a personal question.
Yes.
Back up a little, or well, statement. Back up a little bit. And then use the runoff area.
Yeah.
Like, I understand waiting, but I mean...
Listen, if you know you got the pace, right? Say you're in the top 10 and you got the pace and you get spun lap 1, lap 2. I mean, that's a lot of cars that you got to fight back through. And with our track temps being so hot this week, I think the ambient air temp was around 35 Celsius and the track was around 47 in the practice server all week. I mean, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, we're racing here midday, middle of summer, peak temperatures, and we got industrial heaters placed all around the track to make sure tires do not last.
It is a true Barcelona race.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely true. As we take a look at Nate here as they are making their way around the track.
He's already found himself up over 10 positions, started back towards the 30s at the start of this race, making the most of the early carnage.
Absolutely looking very solid in that Aston Martin tonight. Very, very happy to see that. And it looks like we got maybe a nice little battle brewing up here as we have another car off track. But everyone's coming through the chicane, bumper to bumper. People going over curbs, almost in the sand. But it looks like Jeffrey Lutz for the Armenterio Academy is going to hold it through Sector 3 and down that front straight as he has the big, mean Audi coming behind him. can he gain some time back there after a little hiccup? And I tell you what, that Ferrari is starting to close the gap up here to Daniels up front. You know, it looks like Rutledge built himself up a nice little 2.5 gap here. Daniel's not too far behind as well. But I am very curious to see how this Ferrari is going to try to work his way around the Porsche if Daniels gives him the room.
I'm sure it's going to be a very swift maneuver, as unfortunately the Porsche does not have any straight line speed. And as long as G-Tesh can stick it close coming out of Sector 3, I feel like it's almost all but sealed coming into Turn 1, but this current distance is definitely too much.
It is.
He needs at least another 2/10.
It definitely is. Yeah, the Porsche down that front straight is just horrendous.
Oh, and look at the gap just down the little straight there. Holy cow.
Yeah,
He's
is
already made up the room.
He is really pushing. Like I said, going to be a very, very crucial Sector 3 for him. Can he stick it and put the pressure on Daniels here to pop into a podium position in the beginning of our race?
That would be a beautiful foot to start off the race. And let's just see down this straightaway how strong the slipstream is. Why don't we hop on the bonnet cam?
Absolutely. As we are ripping down the front straightaway here. Absolutely loving it. And you can see really starting to get in that slip towards the end of it. I think he's going to have to make up just a little bit more time to make that move.
It's definitely enough to make that Porsche driver have to look in his mirrors and think, oh, he's right here now. I need to move.
Absolutely. And we look at another returning driver, Harold McDonald, for virtual safety car in the Aston Martin, as he is slowly closing the gap up to Byron, who I believe is also a returning driver to the Division 5 championship here.
That is right. Byron is back.
Yeah, and it
Tell your friends.
does look like, unfortunately, Cube Master just popping off track here. Not too sure what happened. Maybe it was not Cube Master. It was not. But as you can see, Cube Master is slowly working his way back up after his drive-through. And if we take a look at Patches O'Houlihan, the Breadmans in his Honda, putting some pressure on Carls? As we get another car spinning off track. Very unfortunate.
It's the early season. There's been a lot of preseason spending going on. I'm sure there's just some companies who are looking for the extra branding time. Like, look at that guy. He got 2 camera shots there. That's what, like a couple $100,000 for that
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll pop back up to the top here. And, oh, I thought he was going to go for it there. He is staying right on the back of Daniels in that Porsche. Man, that Ferrari power is just insane. Insane. You think that's probably one of the better cars for Barcelona?
Oh, the Ferrari, Barcelona is the Ferrari track. It is the dominant car here. Now, the heat is the great equalizer. I mean, it really puts the driver in control of what you can do, and that's why we see, I think that's 4 manufacturers in the top 4. So,
yeah.
but that Ferrari, when you do have the comfort level, I mean, there's not much beating it. It eats into those grooves well in Sector 1 and is relatively stable in Sector 3 if you can keep it from trying to kill you.
I gotta say, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's pit strategy here. I think the pit window should be opening up here in about 1 minute and 30 seconds. As we just take a look at Byron in a little bit of a battle, getting a little bit of a tap going on.
We almost saw
from
3 wide
McAdoo.
into turn 10.
That would have been absolutely insane to see as the gap's starting to open up here just a little bit. But it looks like McDonald really trying to put that pressure on Byron.
And to think that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are right behind them, and 2 and 3 are right in front of them as well. Like one small mistake from any of these front half drivers, and they could lose still a good chunk of position, even though the field is sorting
Absolutely.
itself out.
And as we take a
And look
look,
at that
Byron's going to
movement.
take a dive in the Lexus coming up the inside of Trembling.
Squeezing him to the curb.
Very, very nicely done. Kenny hold it off coming through the rest of Sector 1, and it looks like he is making himself very wide. Beautifully, beautifully done. These three look like they are going to have a fantastic season. Also, just taking a look here, I'm not quite sure what happened, but Rutledge spins himself out. Let's go back.
no.
Our pole leader looks like he just gets a little sideways, and that's going to be huge damage.
Yeah, that's going to be big, and that almost certainly affects your handling right there. That's going to have some sort of alignment effect.
That is going to be straight back to the pits, but that gives Daniels time to. Oh man, and he's still got the Porsche or the Ferrari on the back of him.
I was going to
Hitachi.
say, if anything, that adds a whole bunch of metal plates right into his car. That has turned this battle into the battle for the lead.
Oh, absolutely. This is and they got themselves almost a 2-second gap to P3. But like you said, man, one little mistake, and I think he's going to start really hammering down here, especially if these two are going to be going defensive at all. If Daniels and Gitash fight at all, Byron's going to be catching right back up to him.
The interesting thing that I want to see is which one of these two will opt to pit first with this massive pit window. My thoughts behind it are, I would think that if Daniels can't start to outrun him, it might be better for his tires to go into the pits and just put yourself in a different situation on track. Just looking back in the gaps, or look back across the track map, it looks like there might be a bit of a gap that he'd fall into. There's some space between cars, and it might do him better in the long run. Or does he opt to try and make Gitesh overcook his tires trying to get past him?
Absolutely.
And that may be the great debate of Barcelona.
And tire management is definitely going to be key. I am very curious to see too if these guys are going to be stopping and taking tires, trying to split fuel at all. Probably normal circumstances, I would say it's probably not the best strategy, but I think with how hot the track is, and if you can't be smooth on that wheel with the car, this might be the race to give it a shot.
That's right, and just as you predicted, Byron's already starting to close up on him. We're seeing him more and more in the back half of this picture, and I'm wondering if Daniels is actually holding Gitesh back from pushing as much as he can, and just forcing this fight upon him.
I tell you what, he very well could be, and Byron is almost a full second quicker than them. That last lap, even his best lap is almost half a second faster. I'm very, very curious to see if Byron's going to be able to really grab on and get into that slip of the Ferrari and just really hunt these guys down here. I think we're going to have a three-way battle for first place.
No doubt. If these guys stay the way they are, and all three of these drivers are people capable of maintaining their lap times for 60 minutes, we could have a very exciting fight for the entirety of this race.
Absolutely. It looks like Daniel's kind of pulling away just a little bit there. I think the Porsche is pretty strong in that first sector. But man, Skitosh just coming right back up, man. Closing down that gap just a little bit.
Every time Daniels bites a little bit, Gitesh says, "I'm not going anywhere."
Absolutely. And now Byron trying to go for the move on the Ferrari. Can he get it done? Trying to get a little bit of switchback action going.
My money is on a move at turn 10.
I can see that coming here, but can Gitesh hold him off?
Lexus tries around the outside.
Oh,
That's almost a certified track limit warning.
that is definitely a track limit warning. There's no doubt about that.
And that's something that surprisingly has not been brought up much this week. And that's the brutality of the track limits of Barcelona. There are very many corners where as your tires start to go, it almost forces you to areas where you're gonna get those numbered limits. And if you get that fourth limit, you're gonna get a drive-through. Or is it a stop and go? You're gonna get a penalty.
It's one of the
It's
two.
no
It
bueno
is.
to get a penalty.
Josh, I can confirm that it is either a drive-through or a stop and go 30, but I cannot deny anything else.
If your name is Doug, you get both.
That is very true. And as these boys are spreading out here just a little bit, I'd like to take a look at Michael for Mid-Pack Mafia in his beautiful Honda, laying down our fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:45.9. I believe it is the only 1:45 currently on the track.
Looking across my stats, yeah, it's the only recorded 45 for the fastest laps for everybody on the track.
Yes.
And a new driver to the league, I do not recognize the name, but I'm gonna take a shot at saying it so that we can get corrected early. Mr. Magenheimer is showing us how to drive that Honda today in D5.
He absolutely is. As we just take a peek at all of our Aston Martins, got a nice little triplets here of McDonald, Tremling, and Beverly. Looking pretty smooth here. Unfortunately, Beverly's livery not showing up. I'm sure it would look pretty sweet considering he's on the Armentario Academy racing team.
Yeah, those liveries are absolutely stunning.
They
It almost looks
are.
like that's one of the ones that was misdownloaded. Had some unfortunate errors with our software.
Absolutely
So we could-
are. And Ren Aoki
Sniff.
making his way up all the way to P11 here. He is up 9 positions right now.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good. And I believe Rufus is up 16 positions as well. It's very,
Some
very
drivers
impressive.
very clearly taking advantage of the early mistakes.
Yeah, as we just take a look up here too, it looks like we got a 3-car battle with our 2 Hondas here and back of the pack for the Aston Martin. Can he hold them off? As they are grooving all over the track, getting a little bit of lagginess here. I noticed the server was doing that a little earlier in practice. Hopefully it smooths out for everybody here. Hopefully it's just my end.
It's always nice when it's localized.
I pray that it's just my end and not anything else. I would like to just take a look back though after serving his drive-through. Now I know he's still gonna have to pit, but Cube Master has made his way up all the way to 32nd and is just hammering down, trying to gain as much time as possible. As it looks like we have a wreck in the back straight as we go back and take a look. Looks like
Ooh. Turn 9. This corner is a killer.
it absolutely is. Just catching the dirt a little bit there, bumping into a couple other cars.
It almost looked like the McLaren behind him gave him a little bit of an encouragement as he started to spin there. But I mean, in that situation on the racetrack, there is no opportunity to react. You let off the gas, you're spinning as well. You hit the brakes, you're spinning as well. It's just hold on and pray.
Absolutely, as we pop back up to the top, coming into turn 1. Nice group of Hondas and Astons. We tune back in on this battle here. Can Magnenheimer catch Lutz? Jeffrey is definitely going to be in for some action here, I think, in the next couple laps. As Magnenheimer is looking very, very strong. Still currently holding that fastest lap of a 1:45.9. looking good, but you don't want to push too much. It is still 40 minutes to go in this race. These tires need to last a long time.
That's right. I don't think anybody's going to be touching that fastest lap because of that. If so, it's going to be in the very, very late stages of the race. As we see a Porsche try and develop some form of straight line speed, and the McLaren says no. But the Porsche finds the apex.
That he does, and it looks like that was T-Ma and Cube Master as they are moving around the track. Looks like T-Ma just going out a little bit. Another returning driver this season finds himself. Cube Master worked his way up to 26th already. He was just at, I think,
like 30 something.
32nd, and must have benefited from that little spin out earlier in turn 9.
Must have.
But it looks like we got another. I don't know what happened here, but if I had to take a guess, maybe a little action coming into this tight left-hander after that back straight, just getting out a little wide. Oh yeah,
just missed the breaking point.
Missed it, but everyone's staying nice and clean, joining back decent as these guys are just in one heck of a battle. I mean, look at this. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 car battle coming down this front straightaway here.
Just an all-out drag race, and Alexis wanting to join the party, but he's got the biggest run.
Absolutely. As we take a look, as they're all going to come down into turn 1, what is going to happen? Who is going to back out? Who is going to hold their line?
It looked like the Alexis backed out, and he still may luck out of this with a position in the back of the picture there as he's on the inside.
And that is Rigatoni pushing the Lego Lexus racing car very, very nicely. Very nicely. A sharp looking livery as well.
Sector 1 is a very fun place to battle cars because you can all come in at relatively the same pace, but the slight difference from inside to outside line is a massive difference coming around the corner.
You know,
and everybody just switches back and forth as we're seeing here, going from corner to corner to corner.
It is, and you know what? My teammate driving one of the Astons last night, Zooch, she was just powering down behind me, making the dive on the inside, and we were just having fun for 2 or 3 laps going back and forth with the switchbacks just through all of Sector 1. I mean, it was a blast, but look at how tight of a pack we have from Steven Sarver in 13th all the way down to Nate Bright. Nate Dogg's getting in on the action as well, too. Currently finds himself in P17. I mean, just doing a phenomenal job, up 14 positions from the start.
A very solid example of putting your head down and driving, not worrying about where you start, and reaping rewards of what goes on around you.
Absolutely. And we take a look as we got our battle for first place coming up. Is Daniels gonna hold off the beautiful Ferrari? Some purple on pink action.
Almost played a hand in that overtake happening.
Absolutely. It looks like Lutz possibly going off track as well. See a yellow flag dropping down the order, but we want to stay with the battle up front as we come down this back straightaway. Are we going to see a move from Gitesh on Daniels? Or is Daniels going to make himself nice and wide? Looks like he's able to hold that off. Gitesh having to check up just a little bit.
Everybody doing the sidestep as they come through turn 10, turn 11.
Yeah, I have a feeling that might be my internet today. I apologize, but
everybody's internet's just not wanting to cooperate these days, but hey, that's okay. At least we're still here.
All over the back of them as they come down, backwards, drifting down the front straight.
Deja vu. He has been in that place before.
And are we going to see the dive down the inside? That is going to be the question. He's got the slipstream. Can he make the pass as they're coming in? Trying to stick his nose in, but not quite going to stick it as Daniel seems to go a little wide. Can he hold him
miss the corner
off, though?
This turn is going to be a strong exit here.
Oh, this is definitely going to be...
right on him.
This is definitely going to be a little nerve-wracking. This could be a very scary turn trying to pass in, but as they battle each other, Byron makes his way up now, and we got a three-way battle for first place. Absolutely just where we tuned in last lap, picking it right back up. I think Byron, if he plays this smart and lets them two fight it out, conserve his tires, try to get the temps down, because you know they're probably scorching right now on the left side. If he could just wait a little bit here and maybe able to pass both of them in one shot. If he can keep it up, I mean, this could play very well to him, and even not far behind them is McDonald. He is now catching up because of this three-way battle we got going on.
Yeah, we could very quickly see a five-way battle for first going on, as we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. One car's off at turn 1, but it looks like they're back going again, just losing some balance off the curbs probably.
Absolutely. This is really turning into a race, and Magenheimer also working his way up, about to pass a back marker, which I think is Selena Fisher.
And he's all the way up to P7 now, which, looking at this field, we're 3, borderline 5 for the lead. It's only 2 cars off of this battle, and those 2 are not too far off the back of them as well.
Absolutely. I don't even want to peel my eyes away from this battle, but I'm just gonna take a quick peek back here to Welsh.
I'm sorry, folks. This is a night where we could really use the pip.
It is absolutely a night where we could use this. We're gonna jump back up here.
Ooh,
back
who
up,
was that missed the corner?
Back up front, as
definitely losing
looks like
spots.
Welsh, and Welsh goes off
outside.
track as well too. Is this the move he was trying to make? Is Daniel's going to try to squeeze him, or is he going to follow in right behind him? And it's going to open up the door for Byron as well. Can Byron get by as they're coming up?
Hard corner to hold the outside.
It absolutely is.
Avoids the sand.
Very clean through it though. But here we go, another. Oh my God! And here comes McDonald as well. Daniel's dropping back.
McDonald is side by side with him now.
4 positions in a matter of 3 turns. You hate to see it, but what a move by Gitesh, our new race leader, finding himself back. And I'm sure Daniels is going to do everything he possibly can to try to fight his way back up, as he was getting into some lap traffic of Rufus just not getting out of the way for Daniels here. Now Rufus could have pit already. I can't see that currently.
I am not sure, but Daniels did make a mistake in turn 13, and that allowed Rufus to get past him.
I see.
You know, that tough area of sector 3 is not really a good spot to jive out of the way and hit the brakes
and now
hard.
could we see a move from McAdoo or McDonald? Oh, as he gets a little contact coming in to turn 1, just a little bit,
little bit of rub and paint, but nothing too crazy. And he's coming right back for the fight. Looks like there's going to be nothing to squabble about, as he's almost earned the position.
Absolutely
right back.
is, and between them and the lap traffic, it's slowly letting Daniels catch his way back up.
Meanwhile, Gitesh is already 4 seconds clear of Byron.
Well, I mean, after that turn 1 incident there with a little bit of rubbing, I'm sure that slowed everybody down here just, about 4 seconds.
No doubt. I'm more so looking at the track map and seeing that there's absolutely nobody in front of Gitesh.
No, he's
able to just relax and drive.
Some nice clean air, and we're gonna just take a swing back down. It looks like Brule currently 3/10 back on Forsling. Another 2 drivers that are returning to D5 this season.
2 very strong competitors.
Absolutely.
Working their way up the field.
Absolutely, and he's got that Merc looking absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, the Merc is an interesting character. I don't pay too much attention to the like esports or like streamer side of things. I just live in SRA pretty much. But
and looks like Byron dipping into the pits early, probably trying to get rid of that damage. Could be going for a massive undercut here as we are on lap 16, just about halfway through our race, 20 minutes left in the pit window. And out of our top spot, Byron is the first to dip into the pits, giving Daniels P3 back here to try to chase down McAdoo. And man, I mean, Gichesh just, he's gone. He's still holding that 4-second gap, looking really good. 2 or 3 tenths quicker last lap. Overall, his pace is just absolutely phenomenal here tonight.
that's right. Just putting to proof why the Ferraris are loved by this Spanish track. But where I was going with that is that many are saying that the Mercedes is very strong in the current BOP, but we see a very minimal number of drivers using it. So I would not be surprised to see some of these Mercedes drivers creep their way up towards the top half of the field here.
Absolutely. And I gotta say, I played around with the Merc in the off season, and I mean, it feels good. It feels good, but it wants to kill you. When it goes and you get that little bit of snappy kind of oversteerish a little bit, it's hard to control. So I give him a lot of props. It definitely seems like a very fun car to drive with that massive hood. And just taking a look back down to CubeMaster as well. CubeMaster made his way back up after the drive-through at the start to P13.
That's
absolutely
quite the
wild
drive so far. A lot of the spots due to pits, but not all of them. That's for sure. Some of them are definitely quality overtakes.
And I'm curious here. I see McDonald and Daniels both pit this lap, probably responding to Byron's pit last lap, as we're going to keep an eye on Byron and see where Daniels and McDonald come out. I think
they're going to have them clear.
I don't know. I mean, it all depends on pit strategy here. I mean,
or this collision.
Yeah, that will do it. That will
small little touch
definitely
there.
do it. But I mean, Daniels and McDonald are really dropping down the grid here. Maybe fixing damage, and it looks like Byron again.
Yeah, he just kind of pulled off to the side of the track there in Sector 3. I wonder if he got really unsettled coming through turn 13 there. It's very hard because you're immediately coming through the corner onto the brakes, transition to 14, lift off the gas, transition to 15, all while trying to keep the tires just on the level of grip.
Absolutely. And it looks like CubeMaster now taking his pit stop, and Stedman as well.
And Byron actually does cover off McDonald, if I'm seeing that right.
I think
no, he does not.
No, McDonald is just ahead of him, chasing down Shabadoo. But I gotta say, I know people still need to pit. I see Sarver, Roberts, Nate, Aoki. I see a lot of Aston Martins in our top 10. With the exception of 2 McLarens and a Ferrari. Granted, I don't think they've pit yet, but man.
So looking over our leaderboard here very quickly for you, positions 1 through 8 have not taken their mandatory pit stop. Joe Shabadoo in position 10 has not taken his. Lane Yates in 21st has not. Gilchrist in 26th is currently serving theirs. Chunk in 35 is the only other driver who has not served their pit. Everybody else has met their requirement.
All right. And if we just take a quick look to the O'Hoolicam, absolutely looking fresh, racing for the Breadmans, trying to get a move done on Stedman here.
Looking like an absolute crispy loaf.
Attacking. Can Patches make the move? I absolutely love that comment, Josh. That was beautiful. I think he would have
Up
made.
and straight onto the racetrack. Patches is looking to eat that Audi.
You absolutely would have made Andrew very proud right there. As we just take a look, as it looks like they are coming down the back straight, and they are not going to make a move here, but we pop back up to Byron. Finds himself in the mix with Daniels now, as Daniels seemed to have a very, very long pit stop. But let's see how his outlap is, and it looks like Welsh getting a stop and go 30. Very unfortunate. Going to drop him back down and move Rigatoni up a few spots, making his way up to P12. I'm going to keep an eye on Byron and Daniels here. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think they are going to jump anybody all too much unless people are going to be taking tires here, but they really have fell down the order here.
So, just something here.
Yes.
McDonald, 36 seconds stopped. Daniels, 35. Byron, 33.
Sounds like
Magenheimer, 35. Chen, 38.
sounds like people are opting to take tires.
Sarver, 36. Beverly creeping towards 30. Renaoki, 7 seconds.
Now, I'm very curious to see where our leader is going to fall when he pits. Is he going to go for tires? Oh,
Yeah,
and it looks like Byron just catching the back of Daniels just a little bit there. Daniels able to hold on to it as they are making their way up, trying to get around Shabadoo. Looks like Daniels might be able to make this happen unless that Aston can hold him off on the inside, with Byron just behind them, waiting to see what's going to happen. And we got a car coming out of the pit entry here right in front of them, as Byron goes just a little wide, but the battle continues between Daniels and Shabadoo as they come out of Sector 1. Shabadoo going to be able to hold on to it as they make their way into Sector 2 here. Still a little bit of defending going. Now, listen, if I just took tires coming out of the pits, you're only 2 or 3 laps after your pit stop here, and you're already battling with people. That is just going to heat those tires up. How much of an advantage is it actually going to be? And it looks like Trembling also getting a stop and go 30 with his pit stop. Very unfortunate. Well,
That's a shame, because Trembling did only have a 7-second stop, and I was gonna say he may be in
absolutely, and we just
fighting for the lead.
And not to cut you off, but we just see Daniels making the move on the Aston Martin as they are coming down the back straightaway here. Is he going to be able to hold on to it, or is that Aston going to catch that slipstream, put the power down, and try to get into him here? Does not look like that is going to happen. If Daniels can hold this off, it is going to make Byron fall back just a little bit, battling with that Aston. Hopefully, would like to see the two of them gain some positions back here, as it looks like Nate making his way into the pits to clear his mandatory stop. Renaoki getting by him because of this. And did Sarver make his pit stop already?
Sarver has not.
All right.
Although he is up 40 some odd
He
positions
is up
at this point.
45 positions right now. That is very, very impressive. Fellow commentator, wonderful guy to hang out with. Rocking that baseline racing livery, looking mighty fine.
Absolute Chad. But I don't really want to lock it in right now, but Chitesh could take tires and still come out in front of Steven.
That he could.
He's 50 seconds in front of him.
He
So
absolutely
I think this race is
could.
that Ferrari's to lose.
Yeah, and as we can see too, our lap times are starting to come back down. They were hitting the 147 range. We're finally getting back down to the mid 146s. Gitesh though, and that Ferrari is just low 146s, almost lap after lap. As I see a caution, it looks like maybe got caught up with some traffic here as we go back 15 seconds to take a look and see what happened. Looks like just coming through and someone spins in front of him and just gets some damage. Not
no.
what you want to see. Luckily, did have a big gap, but man, that's going to hurt. I'm sure we're going to see him diving into the pits probably this lap here if I had to take a guess. And it looks like
As we see Sarver and Trembling are both in the pits right now. G-Tesh does have a 1:05 to Renaoki behind, who has served his pit stop.
And Renaoki could he, with the amount of damage that Gitesh just probably got right there, didn't look good. Is he going to dive into the pits here? No, he's going to keep going. Very, very interesting. And I'm seeing a lot of drive-throughs and a couple stop-and-go 30s on the board.
I'm wondering if G-Tesh wants to test out this damage, see how critical it is to repair, because I know there's a lot of drivers who, if it's under 10 seconds or they don't really feel it, they'll leave it alone. But if it starts to chew at a tire, you need to get it out.
Absolutely. And just taking a look further back down the grid, man, Michael has just made some moves this race. Still holds the fastest lap of the race. I don't think that's going to change just because of track temps at this point. Maybe McAdoo, not McAdoo, maybe our leader Gitosh, if he does end up opting for tires this race. But man, what a drive, making his way up to the top 10. I think he is up 12 positions, I believe. Solid drive from him. Absolute killer drive.
That's right, up 12 positions and in a new field with drivers that you're unfamiliar with. That's very well done.
It is absolutely well done, as he looks like he's going to try to make a move on Sarver here as they come down the front straightaway. Honda versus McLaren. Who is going to get it?
My money's on Honda.
My money is on the Honda as well, but we do
just
have
kicked in, baby.
some people
no.
coming out. Could interfere with it as Sarver holds him off very, very nicely for now. And it is definitely looking very nice.
Yeah, the field's starting to relax out a little bit. The gaps are starting to open back up as we get down to inside the last 20 minutes here. But I'm sure as people who have started to gain space get their tires back to a comfortable window and start pushing again, those gaps are going to tighten back up. So you start...
Absolutely, and it looks like we might have a battle for second place.
Oh, no!
McAdoo just getting knocked off track here. I don't know if they got caught in some lap traffic, but that is absolutely horrible to see. We're gonna go back 15 seconds. Just looks like he may have caught the front of someone's car.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to fish his way between those two cars and just merged left, and that McLaren may have still been in his blind spot.
Oh, and that is some heavy,
him.
heavy damage. Definitely going to be struggling. Got to get that thing back to the pits here as quick as possible. And it looks like Byron starting to make some time up, trying to catch back up to Daniels as they work their way into P4 and P5, but still have two cars ahead of them to get back to their original positions here. I gotta say, the field's definitely spreading out a little bit here. Just a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of the gaps are starting to lengthen out. It's a lot to drive this track full tilt for 40 minutes. So we see a yellow flag in sector 2 there.
We do, and that looks like Jerry Finkelstein for Plan E.
Oh.
So we just take a look back. Looks like he may have just lost the rear end there, and oh, going wide.
Well done to avoid the car there.
Yes, that was a little scary to watch, though. I am not gonna lie, because it looks like we have a nice little battle coming out of the pits of Khan and B Chen. Another Ferrari and a Porsche mixed in with an Audi close behind. How are they going to end up?
It's nice to see the slight return of the Audi this season.
You know, it is. I don't see too many people picking it, but we have what? 1, 2. We have 2. That's all we have.
even if we do only have 2 in Division 5, just overall, I think last season there were only 2 Audi drivers in
and
the majority of the league.
Looks like Byron's gonna get a run on Daniels as they come into turn 1, showing Daniels the power of the Lexus, just really making it look easy. Hopefully Daniels could hang on to him, stay nice and close.
This is turn 3 is, I'd say, the most critical part of solidifying an overtake at turn 1.
Absolutely is, and it looks like Byron is just gonna continue to pull away as he hits the button, drops the Lego blocks back down behind on the Porsche, building himself up to almost a second gap already on Daniels.
I see what you did there, building his way up.
Listen, we were supposed to have the one, the only Andrew Anderson with us today. Someone has to get the jokes in here occasionally, and I think yourself, myself, and yourself, it is getting late. I can't even concentrate. I'm too excited.
We do the good jokes, yes.
We will lay them in there when we can, and we just take a look as our leader is in the pits, and Ren Aoki looks like he is
quite a distance. He's not that far.
He's not too far.
This might be closer than intended if Chitesh is taking tires.
Absolutely.
He may lose this position.
And he's still showing in the pits here as Aoki's going to be coming down the front straight. What is going to happen?
Ren Aoki is taking the lead of this race.
He is 100% taking the lead on this race. I am not too sure.
Still stationary.
Still in the pits. Gonna let Daniels, Byron, and Beverly all by.
Oh, wow.
That is not a good sign. He may have been fixing that damage as he is tumbling down the order now. And we are looking at...
Yeah. He said over a minute stopped. He's still stationary in the pits.
Oof.
Down to P10 now.
But we do have another battle brewing for P1 between Gordon Beverly and Ren Aoki. I know Ren is a phenomenal driver. We watched him all last season. Beverly is new here. Gordon, I believe, is new. I don't recall the name, but he is currently making a move on our leader as we get some blue flags coming out of the way. Gonna drop in front of Byron and Daniels. Can Beverly get him on the front straight here? Gordon is pushing that Aston Martin. I think it's gonna come down to the front straight. Who's gonna nail sector 3?
I think Gordon's pushing the McLaren here. Judging by what I'm seeing in this camera, that McLaren looks like he is a fish out of water.
It absolutely does. As we take a look on the bonnet cam as they come down the front straightaway here, your battle for P1 as he's gonna get the slip. This should be a very I don't want to say easy pass, but Ren's gonna put the block on him. Can Ren hold that front side? Hold it nice and tight, staying nice and wide. Not gonna make it easy for Gordon to get through here at all.
A little bit of an understeer there in turn 3, but still gets a good drive through the corner.
Absolutely.
A little bit of a run here on Ren.
And
enough to keep pressure down.
It is one heck of a battle we got brewing in the last 11 minutes of our race. really everybody in that top spot is all gaining very close. The more these two battle, the more Byron and Daniels are going to catch back up and have a shot at the podium. And it looks like Sarver making his way up to P5, not too far behind them, and Magdenheimer as well, and Rigatoni. All your top 7 relatively close to each other. A little bit of a gap between P4 and P5, but as we just take a look, it looks like we are going to see a move possibly.
Oh, as they both missed the
Oh,
corner.
and they go wide, opening the door for
Right
Byron
buckling
and
back
Daniels now. What is going to happen as they come through Sector 3? Man, what 4-way battle here for first place. What a race this has been. Hopefully Daniels can stay all over the back of Byron here, catch the slip, let it drag him down the front straight. What are we gonna see as they are all onto the front straightaway here? Zooming on down, and it looks like Beverly gonna go on the inside this time. Is Aoki gonna let him through? Not gonna have much of a choice, but can he fight back? And it looks like Byron trying to make his way, following the Aston, gonna push Aoki back, even opening the door for both of them. What a beautiful pass by Gordon and Byron here. Absolutely fantastic racing. I'm wondering how Ren's tires are doing here. Curious to see how long his pit stop was as well.
Let me grab that information for you. Ren Aoki's pit stop was 7 seconds, so he
Yeah.
did not take tires.
So can we see the strategy changing up here at a hot race with a 40-minute pit window? You know, Ren's clearly doing a phenomenal job keeping those tires alive, making his way up. It looks like he's just getting passed by Daniels now too. So as it stands, with 8 minutes to go, just over 8 minutes to go, we have Gordon, Byron, Daniels, Aoki, and Sarver rounding up your top 10. And it looks like these guys are not going to be giving it up. This is going to be one heck of a battle for the next 8 minutes here.
That is correct. And just looking over things as we're nearing the end here, our big movers and shakers in both directions on the grid. We have people making lots of position changes all over the race. We have 2 drivers who are currently where they started the race, and that's P14, Mr. Chen, and P37, Mr. Finkelstein.
And speaking of Chen, it looks like finds himself in a battle repping the Audi. Only 2 Audis, him and his teammate, in D5 as they come through Sector 3 here. Looking pretty good. And I gotta say, we're gonna jump back up. It looks like Daniel's closing down the gap to Byron. Maybe just for a split second here, but he is not gonna let him go. These two have been stuck to each other all race. Neck and neck. Just a slight break through the pit window earlier on for maybe about 5 or 6 laps, and that was really about it. Either than that, these guys have been door to door all night long, and you love to see it. Let's see if I think if I was Daniels, I would have to try to keep the tires nice and calm for the last couple laps of the race, and then really show them what those Porsche brakes can do. Man, that was close. Looks like I think that's Beverly gets wide out of there, and Daniels almost runs into him, but puts Byron up to P1 and Daniels P2, as Byron now gonna have a battle with Aoki, possibly coming into turn 1. I think Aoki may be back a little too far, but
That's a little bit cheeky in my opinion. I mean, my what's that? What's the word? It'll come to me later. I like to pull those kinds of cheeky moves, but at the same time, like sticking your nose in when you're not completely able to make the move at turn 13 there, it just kind of forces the other car to go wide and essentially says, okay, well, you have no opportunity to make the corner, and now it's my position because it has to be.
That it
So-
does, and it looks like we got a car in the middle of the track. I think
You
that
can't
is
park there.
Santerre. You definitely should not park there, and he is still sitting on that back. Oh, we have another car off, sitting up straight here too. I'm sorry, that is Santerre off to the side of the track at least.
Oh,
Looking
and he's dropping down the
little bit
board. I wonder if that's a
better.
fuel miscalculation.
It very well could be, but as we just take a look, Beverly all over the back of Daniels, trying to gain some positions back here. Can Daniels hold on to it? As Byron now building himself a 2-second gap for the lead, and it looks like we have some lap traffic coming up on the guys of Rutledge as they make their way through that very nicely. And I gotta say, we got another nice little battle in the back, going almost 3 wide. What
That is not the place to do it, but we love to see it anyways.
Oh, that was absolutely beautiful. As
G-Tesh making his way back up.
yeah, he is
P13
fighting
not too
his way
bad.
back up through here. And it looks like Cube Master not too far behind them as well, making his way back up to 14th place now. After
as
a
we
rough
see the Porsches come
start.
together just behind there.
And we'll just take a quick replay back at that and see what happens. Because it looks like just catching each other just a little bit.
I really like that blue and yellow. Really reminds me of the old Spoon Honda S2000. It's unfortunate they came together there.
It does,
Just a
and it
little
looks
bit of
like
door banging.
G-Tesh going off again. Just take another look back at this too. Is he getting that
Little
cheeky
touch.
moving? Oh, and
Oh,
they
got a-
just said
gave
no
a touch
thank
and
you.
He got a touch, and then gave a sympathy spin.
Well, and that brings it back to just what you were saying of sticking your nose in where it sometimes just doesn't belong.
It's racing, folks. You
That-
love to see it.
That it absolutely is. Man, Gordon still
Why?
just putting that pressure on Daniels. As we got a couple more laps in the bag here for this race, our opening race of season 6. Definitely been an this is going to be one hell of a season, Josh.
No doubt. And for knowing it or seeing this intensive competition from the very first round is nothing but giving me chills for everything to expect for the weeks to come. Kind of makes me angry that we're going to be off for Valentine's Day week and have to wait for week 2.
Well, I tell you what, that little bit of a break after your week 1 race might everyone get them first race jitters out of their system. Get a lot of time to practice. We have Misano coming up next week. I am so looking forward to that race. But I mean, this seriously, the divisions are just tighter than they have ever been. They're packed full with 50 drivers each. Like, we are in for just a show, I think, week in and week out. It is going to be absolutely amazing. You could really see who put the practice in the off season. Car swaps, team swaps, you name it. It has been one heck of an off season. Some wicked fast lap times, and it looks like Gordon trying to make a pass as Daniels goes a little wide, coming out of that long right-hander, and they are just battling through.
Little bit perplexed why that McLaren didn't get out of the way on the straight. That is the same McLaren that was involved with the incidents earlier on involving our front pack. But I mean, it's early in the season. Sometimes takes time, especially in these big grids, to get used to getting in and out of traffic and on the racing line, off the racing line.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, it's going to give Daniels just a little bit of breathing room, as it looks like they'll probably have another 2 laps to go here.
Jeff did call out this is the final
this-
lap. Byron is quite ahead of them too there, and I think as long as he doesn't make a mistake, your earlier prediction of him sitting back, being cautious on his tires, not over pushing and letting the wind come to him, is gonna fall into fruition here.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's looking good. We'll keep an eye on Gordon and Sean here as the battle for P2 comes down to the final lap. Can Gordon gain the time, make the move? Can Daniels hold it together? We will find out through our last couple turns here. 7 more turns to go. And I just would like to say, Ren Aoki, beautiful drive today. Steven Sarver as well. Magdenheimer as well, who's all over the back of Steven Sarver as well. We're going to tune into that as soon as these two boys come out of the Sector 3 here. I got to say, that Aston is it's looking pretty strong this season. Absolutely looking strong. And as we just pop up to the front, Byron will be your week 1 winner with Daniels P2, Beverly P3, and we just take a look as we drop down the order. Sarver holding down 5th position here. And Michael Magenheimer, P6, Rigatoni making his way up to P7. And I would just like to tune in real quick as Nate is holding everything he's got back against his own teammate too. Not driving on the same team, but they are on the same team here, as Nate is not going to make it easy for Cube Master, who has had a rough start but a phenomenal drive all race, making his way back up. And it looks like we got a little bit of contact coming into the last turn, as there are cars starting to go off, and Nate making his debut up from I think he was in D6 last season, placing a top 10 into round 1 for his first ever D5 race. Absolutely beautifully done. What a race. I know we had a little bit of craziness back towards the back. We're going to just go back 30 seconds and take a look, see what happened here. And man, what a drive. It looks like we're not going to catch that, unfortunately. That will bring us back to our main screen here. Josh, man, how are we feeling about this race? I mean, that was one hell of a drive, the entire race. I mean, there was battles nonstop.
Yeah, that
Almost
was, like I
throughout
said
the
off the
entire
start,
race.
an absolute show from top to bottom. Every single competitor on that grid gave us something to cheer for. The battles were tight. The overtaking was intense. I don't think there was anything else I could have asked for from a race.
Absolutely. And I'm just trying to see. I don't really see many people in chat here to see if we can drag anybody up. I don't see anybody.
Yeah, I mean, some people may not be too eager after the first race night. I mean, that was also kind of intense. I know just the practice races was a lot to deal with sometimes.
That yes. I gotta say, I think last night's practice race was the first time. I mean, I was sweating. it is going to be so tight this entire season. One little mistake, one little slip up could be your race right there. And it showed last night in the practice race. It showed tonight in the D5 race here. But I mean, man, what an absolute finish. Hopefully we will be back with the pitcher and pitcher next week. We can get ourselves a third commentator to join us up in the booth. But man, I am looking forward to Misano in 2 weeks.
As am I. That track in the dry this time, and all we really know is that it's going to be in the daytime. The SRA weather forecast crew are only releasing limited information at a time, and we're gonna find out some specifics after this week's race finishes. So
Absolutely.
we'll see. We don't even know what the pit window is gonna be yet.
We don't. I like how they're changing it up this season here, and yeah, I'm excited. But I think with that said, any closing statements you got, Josh?
Not really. Just make sure you stay tuned to the SRA YouTube channel and check out all the other races that are going on. Check out the VODs that are on Twitch for the previous races, the live stream that just happened on the weekend if you didn't check it. It's long, it's worth your time.
It is.
And don't forget to tune into the SRA Good Report podcast as well, where we go over all of the week's races if you don't have the opportunity to watch all 6.
Yes, absolutely. And big shout out to all of our affiliates: Armentario, Track Racer, Go Setups. I know I'm missing a few here.
Documize, Retro Saga.
Thank you very much, Josh.
We love you all, and to all of the supporters in the Discord and through the Patreon.
Absolutely. Definitely check out the other races, and we will be back up and running in 2 weeks with our 1 week break for Valentine's Day, and then the rest of the season, it's hammer down. This season is going to fly by quick. You don't want to miss anything, so stay tuned, and we will see you guys in the next one.
See ya.